Do you ever watch someone or listen to someone explain something and think, oh, that looks really easy. Definitely could do that with my eyes closed. And then you try it and then it's like, what even, is this even possible by human nature? I mean, for me, insert like any math or physics equation, no idea. My husband's a wizard at that stuff. I can barely even tell you what the Pythagorean theorem is. I'm really gonna have to think about that one. The point of me saying all that is because I've explained in a couple of videos about this idea of bearing down with the pelvic floor or going down with the pelvic floor, the opposite direction of a kegel. And I've gotten some feedback from you guys saying, yeah, I understand that conceptually, not a clue actually how to do it. Hi, I'm Becky. Welcome to Wellness in the Pelvis. I'm a pelvic floor physical therapist and a mom, and I'm here to help you understand more about your body, especially when it comes to your pelvic health. So today, we're going to clarify a little bit what actually bearing down should feel like and really understand how to do it. So let's shed some light on what's going on down there. When we've talked in the past about going up and down the pelvic floor, I've used this analogy that I have called an elevator. Watch some of the other videos and we talk about that. Let me actually break down a little bit more about what that actually means when it comes to muscle activation. So there's a couple different ways that you can use your muscles. We're going to just explain two of them today. But there's this concept called concentric and eccentric muscle activation. If we use your bicep as an example here, concentric would be bending the elbow. So bicep curl, bending the elbow so the wrist goes towards the shoulder. That's concentric. You're shortening the muscle fibers as you're using the muscle. So let's say someone's trying to like do a weird arm wrestle thing with me and they're trying to pull this way and I'm trying to go this way, but they're winning. I'm activating my bicep, but I'm fighting that elbow getting stretched out. That's an eccentric contraction. The muscle is getting longer while you're still trying to contract it. You can do these same two things with the pelvic floor. It just looks a little bit different. So a kegel is a concentric exercise. The pelvic floor is going up, and the pelvis, the muscles are shortening. And then going down, if again, we use that idea before the elevator, if you're going down to the basement, you are lengthening the muscles as you're activating them. So that's an eccentric movement. You don't really need to know the difference between concentric and eccentric here. I just wanted to give a little bit of new vocabulary for you, so that way you, for those that just are super jazzed about learning about physiology here, you've gotten some more tools in your tool belt with that, with those terms. But really what I want you to understand is how to do it. So we've just talked about doing it, but the actual movement's kind of hard to go down to the basement. Watch the old video in the series about how to do a concentric contraction, or the video that's called how to actually do Kegels. But this one's going to be how to actually bear down. And so a couple different ways you can think about it. The first thing I want you to do, if you just have no idea what this feels like or even how to do it, next time you go number 2 to go poop, I want you to sit on the toilet and appreciate what that sensation feels like of you trying to get it out. You have to eccentrically use those muscles in the pelvic floor a little bit. You can just get that awareness of, okay, I feel that little bit of downward pressure in the movement that my body kind of naturally makes to push down to help get the poop out. That's what an eccentric contraction of the pelvic floor is. That's what bearing down is, or pushing the pelvic floor. So try that next time you have a bowel movement, and sorry if that messes up your flow with your poop. Some people, they really like have their set routine when they poop, and I don't want to mess that up. Another couple ways that you can think about how to bear down are getting your stomach muscles involved. So with a traditional kegel or that concentric contraction, you really shouldn't be using your abdominals at all. It should be pretty isolated to just the pelvic floor muscles. But with bearing down, you're trying to increase the pressure inside the belly, especially with these two instances that we would usually think about pushing down for, which is pooping and having a baby. And so you need to get your abs involved because stool lives in the colon, which is in your belly, your large intestine. And then obviously the baby lives inside your uterus, way up in the belly. So you need to get your abdominals involved to help push down and out. And so that's totally okay when you're trying to learn how to do this eccentric, this bearing down contraction, is to push with your abs. What you can think about is puffing out your stomach like you're Santa Claus, or if you're pregnant, like you're really pregnant. And if you're really pregnant, then like you're really, really pregnant where you want to get this baby out, because that's probably when you're actually going to be using this, is when you're really, really pregnant. And so making your belly feel even bigger and then bearing down through the pelvic floor, that should help. Another visual that people use, because again, if you're trying to get stool out or trying to get a baby out, you're visualizing those things coming out the pelvic outlets, whether it's the anus or the vaginal canal, is imagining those holes, those orifices actually opening up. Sometimes that visual of just thinking of what it would look like for your vagina to have a baby coming through it, which some people really like to look when they're having a baby. I was too busy pushing out a baby to care what it looked like. But it can definitely help. Or similar, but instead of the orifices, thinking about the bony structures. So your two sit bones, the bony part of your butt that you sit on, you can imagine trying to use these muscles to push those down and out to the sides. So those are just some different things that you can try doing to help you kind of visualize that sensation as well. The last thing that you can do instead of a visual is actually take something like a hand towel, roll it up, and then sit on it. So like have it like a saddle in between your legs, going from front to back, the roll going front to back. And then trying to push down, and then you can feel against the towel that gentle bearing down. It acts as a little bit of feedback. So those are some things that can be really helpful if you are trying to learn actually how to push down, especially because you're having a hard time pooping or because you are getting ready to have a baby. Those things should hopefully be very helpful. So what questions do you have? Clear as mud? Get it? Mud, brown, looks like poop. No? I'm the only one? Okay, yeah, no. Let me know in the comments down below. Don't worry about that like or subscribe thing. It's not really my thing either. I'm just here to help you understand more about your body. If that's something you're into, watch more videos. Thanks for coming. We'll see you next time.